Hey guys, how's it going? It's finally time to change my oil. Yep, it's been over 800 miles since I first brought the Ace home, and now he's ready to take that break-in oil out and put some lovely, lovely new synthetic oil in. So suit up, let's do this. Now, first things first, we gotta get our oil pan underneath the bike. I use this awesome black plastic tub that I got from a hardware store years ago. It's a tight fit into the Ace, but man, this thing is awesome. When I was younger, we used to use kind of a metal pan that had no drain on it, and it was always just a gamble when you wanted to drain the oil out of it or put it into another container, man. Sometimes it'd go all over the floor and it was just awful. So I highly suggest you guys go pick one of these up. They're probably under a bunch of different names. I've seen them all over, but you can find them at your generic hardware or auto store. They're probably around $10 and they are awesome. So the standard plug on the Thruxton is a 12mm socket. Wasn't too hard to break loose and it came right out, so there was really no issues with that. I know it's still kind of muddy under this bike because I didn't completely detail it and I'm also kind of lazy, but just the important bits were done. Now, it's also important to note that you need to loosen the knob on the edge of your catch pan, the little spout there, because if you don't, the oil's going to not go in and the air's going to stay in there. It's going to create a bubble and it's going to go all over your floor like it almost did for us. Now, once we're all drained out of it, we got to cap it back off and it's time to get that filter out of there. There should be some excess oil in here, and holy shit balls, this thing was on there. I don't know what the factory spec is for these, but man, this filter was tight. It was a real bear to get off, but once we broke it loose, just let it drain into the pan for a bit and we were ready for our shiny new oil filter. For the oil that I went with, it was Mobil 1 synthetic. I have read both factory recommendations, forum recommendations, and everything for this bike, and at the end of the day, I just stuck to my guns and what I know and what I've used for years in all of my engines. Your results may vary, and there isn't an oil out there that someone won't blame for blowing up their engine or ruining something or God knows what. Just use your best judgment. Just make sure that it's made for motorcycles. Bikes have a wet clutch, and the standard motor oil that you put in your cars is not going to work in these bikes, and it will make them dangerous to ride. As for the filter, I actually was not able to order a Triumph one. I tried to, but British Customs was giving me a shipping error. They said that there was no, I guess the shipping address that I put on there was invalid and they couldn't find it, which was really strange because as soon as I clicked the K&N, they were happy to take my money. But at the end of the day, I was really happy with the K&N one because out of the box, it comes with this really nice plastic seal on the top of it so that if you set it on the ground like we did, it doesn't get any dirt inside of it, or if you accidentally had some dirty hands or something like that and you grabbed it, then you have to clean off the rubber gasket. It doesn't happen with this. Also, it's got a 17mm socket on the end of it, so putting it on and taking it off is just a breeze. It was really, really nice. So in the future, I will definitely be using these unless I have a bad experience with it over the next, however many miles. Now, when we're putting the filter on, we need to make sure to oil it up and seal it with some new or old oil. It really doesn't matter if you're sealing just off the little rubber gasket there. If it's old or new, just make sure you put a little dab on your finger, rub it around the seal. That's all that you're going to need. Now, I know, oh my god, he doesn't fill up his filter first, I'm going to ruin my bike, I shouldn't be allowed to ride, blah, 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 blah. Some people are very, very opinionated on this. I have never done this in the 15 plus years that I have been working on cars, working on motorcycles, and my father has done this for longer than most of you who are watching have been alive, and I have had zero problems with it. So just stick to what you know best and what works. Now, when filling this guy up, make sure not to lose the O-ring on the filler cap. It is loose, and it can drop off easily. You could lose it into the engine itself if you're not careful. So when you take it off, just make sure that you're looking out for that O-ring. I filled this thing up with 3 quarts first, leveled it off, ran it for 3 minutes, then I checked it on the side of it. That's just kind of the process of what you do. Fill it up a little bit, run it, fill it up a little bit, run it. You just got to keep checking it, because there are 2 little marks, a low and a high mark on the side of it. And now if you pour the oil into it before it's warm or before you've run it and you don't fill your filter like I do, there is going to be oil that needs to get into the filter, and so your level is going to go down. So if you check it before you've actually run it and you're, perfectly in the middle of these 2 high and low marks, as soon as you run it, you're going to be low on oil because that filter has now filled up. It's also important to note that this took almost 4 quarts of oil. It was just a matter of putting it in, starting it, running it, leveling it off, checking the sight glass on the side of it, the 2 little metal marks there that I've been talking about. They are hard to see. That is something that when I was down there for the first time looking, I'm like, I don't see a high and low mark anywhere. Oh, there they are. They're just to the right of it. They're 2 little metal marks. They're black. They're really not painted or anything like that to designate them, so just be on the lookout for those. Like I said, this thing took about 3 3/4 quarts of oil in it, so just about 4 quarts. If that seems like a lot, to me it was kind of a lot, because I don't know, it just seems like a lot of oil for the bike to take, but it does have, you know, a square mile of tubing running all over it, and it does have that massive external oil cooler up front, so I guess I can understand it. And I'm going to monitor it and make sure that it doesn't, you know, go down as it fills up more or what have you. Just keep checking it out. That's just kind of what you have to do when you fill these things up. And really, that's it, guys. I got all the break-in oil out. It is kind of a strange color, but that's how they've always been. And I got that new oil in. So let me know what you guys use in your bikes and what your experience has been. If you've ever purchased a new bike after the break-in oil, or just what your experience has been with changing bikes. I know everybody's got some crazy stories. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe and leave me some feedback. I really love hearing from you guys, talking with you and interacting. You guys are awesome. Ride safe, and I'll catch you guys later.